Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought it was time to film another purchase or pass video. I was chatting with a lot of you guys on Instagram about new releases. I try to post polls on my Instagram stories just to get a feel for what you guys are thinking. It's so interesting to see how some products like really pull people in and some products are just like a complete no, but I know not all of you guys follow me on Instagram. I actually thought it might be fun to do like a YouTube live and we could chat about new makeup releases like in real time. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. I've never done a live video, so I'll have to figure it out, but I was just thinking that might be fun. In the meantime, I thought I would sit down and film a purchase or pass video. So I'm going to go through a bunch of new products and let you know if I'll be purchasing them, if I might possibly purchase them, like if I'm on the fence about them, or if I will be passing on them. So I want to hear from you. Make sure you let me know in the comments below which products you'll be grabbing and which ones you won't, and let's jump into it. Okay, let me start with a few products that I'm interested in purchasing. I have a couple of things from ColourPop. The first one is the Make Up Your Mind palette. So this is going to be available for $12 on July 1st. Even though it's not technically available for sale yet, you can grab it if you use the code UVOTED once you spend $20 or more, and you'll get it for free, apparently. It says while supplies last, so I'm not exactly sure if that's still valid. I'm interested in this palette. Apparently they had a contest, a thing on Instagram where you voted for different colors you wanted to see in a palette, and they were going to create like a fan-made palette, and it turned out kind of unique. I feel like if people were voting for a palette, this wouldn't have been the palette that would have been created. I think when you're voting for random shades, it's hard to know which shades were going to get chosen and, you know, to coordinate them together, but I feel like it's pretty. I would definitely wear the purple, the green, the gold, and I mean, I would wear the other shades too. If I was looking at it as like a standalone palette, I don't know that I would get a ton of complete looks using it, but I feel like it would be a fun accent palette to have in my collection. I really like the ColourPop metallic formula, and I feel like it would really only add to my collection. So I'm interested in it. I think $12 is a good deal, and if I was placing an order, I would just grab it and add it onto my order. So I don't know. Did you guys vote in this contest? Is this what you thought the palette was going to look like? I completely missed that. I feel like I'm not super active on Instagram. I'm trying to get better, but I miss a lot of those things. So I don't know. I just thought it was a little bit interesting. There is another ColourPop collection that I'm interested in that they just announced. So this one is going to be available on June 29th. There are a couple of different products. There are 3 ultra blotted lips and 4 super shock highlighters, and I personally will just skip over those. I'm not big into their ultra blotted lip formula, and I have enough of their super shock highlighters that I just decided not to purchase anymore for now, because I feel like because they're a cream product, they'll go bad before I can finish them up. So I've kind of put a hold on purchasing those, even though I do like them. But the 2 products that caught my eye are the eyeshadow palettes. So these are actually going to retail for $12 each. And at first when I saw the palettes, I was interested, but I wasn't sure exactly how much they were going to cost, if I would end up grabbing them. I feel like for $12 each, I mean, that's a really great deal. I don't know exactly how big they are because I haven't seen a lot of information about them at this point, but I mean, in my opinion, that's pretty much a steal. Like the last palette I was just talking about is $12, and even if the pans are a little bit smaller, you get more options, which is what I generally look for in an eyeshadow palette. So there are 2 different options. The first one is the Soul palette, and this one comes with really beautiful like warm tone shadows like reds and oranges and bronzes and coppers. I think, you know, I don't know exactly if I'll end up buying this one just because I do feel like I have colors like this in my collection, and I'm not super big into like reds and oranges lately. I just feel like, I don't know, when I go for like a bold warm eye, I usually do like pink or gold. So I'll probably end up skipping over that one. I halfway feel like I'm lying to myself because I might grab it. Like the fact that it's only $12 kind of interests me. I just don't know that I necessarily need that one. But the one that caught my eye is the like blue and copper palette. This one looks really pretty, and it does only come with like 2 blue shades, 1 green shade, so it's not a completely colorful palette, but there's something about the ColourPop formula that's just like my absolute favorite. I just tried out their new Fame, Fortune, and Perception palettes, and they're really, really good. So I really just think that their formula is a steal for the price because it's so high quality. It kind of reminds me of the packaging on their new pressed powders. Like these come in like white plastic packaging with a mirror on them, and I don't know how I feel about it. Like it feels sleek, it feels nice, but at the same time, I like the cardboard palettes just because They're so thin and sleek and easy to store, and I feel like white packaging when it comes to makeup is so hard to keep clean, especially when it comes to intensely bold eyeshadows. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm definitely curious about them, but I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Okay, so those are the only products that I'm like really sold on and that I'm really set on purchasing, but there are a couple of products that I'm kind of on the fence about. I might possibly grab them. It just kind of depends. So the first one is from Urban Decay. This is their new lip mousse. So it's going to be available for $26 starting in August. So there's not a ton of information out about this product yet, but I feel like it just kind of looks interesting. It's supposed to be a super soft whipped texture that glides over the lips really easily. And the thing about this is that you're supposed to be able to apply it lightly for more of a sheer wash of color or build it up for more of an intense look. It kind of sounds like it has the staying power of a liquid lipstick, but it also sounds like it's going to be a little bit more comfortable. I feel like I would end up buying like one of them and trying it out, but at the same time, I'm kind of curious to see what it's like in person. I don't know if you could use your finger, if you have to use a brush. I'm not big into applying lip products with a brush, and then if you wanted to touch it up throughout the day, I feel like that would be a little bit difficult. So I feel like I need to actually see this product in person before I decide whether or not to grab it, but I do love Urban Decay lip products. Their Vice lipsticks are some of my favorite. They make great lip liners. I do like their new lip glosses, so I'm definitely curious about it. Okay, I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this next line. I'm on the fence about this line. So this is by the brand Flesh Beauty. They actually are a new makeup line. First of all, I feel like the name is weird to a lot of people. Whenever I click on a picture of this makeup line, people are always commenting about the name. But I read an interview with the founder and she said the name, I'll just link the article in the description box below because I don't even know that I could summarize it well enough to actually convey what she was trying to say. But I feel like the name made more sense to me after I read that article. But basically, they're supposed to be kind of like a prestige brand. They're available now online and they're going to be in like 600 stores by the end of the year. So I'm kind of curious to go into my Ulta and check out the line in person. To be honest with you guys, my first impression was that it looked, I hate to say this, like I don't want to be too harsh, but the packaging just looked a little bit cheap. I was looking at a picture of their foundation sticks and I think it's amazing they came out with 40 shades, do not get me wrong. And I think any brand that releases a good shade range these days should be applauded. And I love that new brands are trying to reach that standard, which the founder talked about in her interview. I probably will end up grabbing some products and testing them out just because it looks like a cool brand and I'm interested in it. I feel like for me personally, I would like to go see this collection in stores or maybe see some reviews on it before I try anything, but it did catch my eye. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Okay, let me finish up with a few products that I'm going to pass on. There's actually a couple of collections and then a couple of like single products that I'm just not interested in. So the first one is the new Fenty Beauty collection. I like the Fenty products that I've tried so far. Honestly, like I am curious to try out more, but I feel like every new collection just doesn't really catch my eye. First, it comes with 2 eyeshadow brushes, which retail for $24 each. I just don't spend that much money on eyeshadow brushes. I'm really cheap when it comes to my brushes, and I know some people like to invest in expensive brushes, but I just have so many affordable brushes that do an amazing job for me, so I will never spend that much on a brush. The Pro Filter eye primer looks nice, but I feel like eye primers last forever and I have a few in my collection, so I'm not planning on purchasing eye primer for a very long time. One product that kind of caught my eye was the liquid liner, which retails for $20, but then I saw that it was a satin finish, and I guess I don't have anything against satin finish liners, but I definitely prefer more of a matte finish if I can, you know, grab it. And if I'm going to spend $20, I prefer for it to have like more of a true matte finish. So the Moroccan Spice eyeshadow palette retails for $59, and if I didn't already say, this collection is going to be available on July 6th. When I saw this palette, I just wasn't interested in it. When I saw this palette, I just wasn't interested in it. Why can't I not say that? I just wasn't interested in it at all. I don't know why that was so hard to get those words out. I just wasn't into it. I felt like it was like boring and it just didn't appeal to me at all. I should be glad because I feel like a lot of palettes really pull me in. And for $60, it has to be a good palette. I'm usually not super willing to spend over like $49 But to be fair, I just saw some swatches of this online and the swatches look a lot prettier than the actual palette does. So it's tough because swatches only tell so much. I mean, I feel like they're a somewhat okay indication of metallic shadows. They're a pretty good indication of metallic shadows, but with matte shadows, it's hard to tell because sometimes they swatch nicely and they don't blend out well. But the swatches definitely look prettier than the actual palette, especially the way that this person swatched them. I just feel like I can kind of see like different color combinations. I am just going to skip over it for sure. I'm not even really going to consider this one just because I have enough palettes and there are so many new palette releases every single week that if this one doesn't really appeal to me, I'm not going to like force myself to try to like it. So Bite Beauty is coming out with some new lip glosses. These are their French press glosses and there are 6 different shades and they have a coffee scent, which I feel like is kind of fun. That's definitely a little bit different. I think the colors are beautiful and I actually just decluttered the one Bite Beauty gloss that I had. I feel like it was in a really pretty nude shade and they had glosses a while ago, but I think they ended up discontinuing them and I enjoyed the gloss a lot, but mine was getting a little bit old, so it was time to get rid of it. I don't know why they redid their glosses because I feel like the original line was good. These are going to be available on July 3rd online and July 20th in stores. I think they'll probably end up being around like the $20 price tag because that seems to be pretty normal for high-end glosses. I would buy one of these, but you guys, I have to stay strong and stick to my commitment to not buy full-sized high-end glosses. I just like made that commitment randomly one day because I feel like I have been working on using up Buxom's Dolly for like 2 years at this point, and I wear that gloss all the time and there's still so much left. So I've just kind of realized that I really just don't need to purchase full-size glosses anymore because I feel like they'll expire before I get the chance to actually use them up. A lot of times around the holidays, these high-end brands put together like mini gloss sets, and for the price of like 1 full-size gloss or 2 full-size glosses, you can get a bunch of minis. They perform just as well, but you get a lot more to choose from and you get a lot of options. So I feel like I'm going to wait until the holidays roll around and the brands start releasing their mini sets. So Melt Cosmetics is coming out with a new eyeshadow palette. I'm still like kind of bitter that I did not get my hands on the Gemini eyeshadow palette. I talked about that in a recent purchase or pass video and I uploaded that video. A bunch of you guys were like, no, they restocked it, it's available. And so I went online to buy it and it was sold out again. And so I signed up for the emails and then I never got an email saying it was restocked again. So I think I missed out on the Gemini palette forever, unfortunately, which is very sad. But they're releasing this new 27 eyeshadow palette and all I want is for them to restock the Gemini palette. I feel like 27 is really beautiful. It comes with a lot of warm tone shadows, but I feel like I have all of these shadows and I'm definitely curious to try out Melt Cosmetics products because I hear so many good things about their shadows, but their shadows are a little bit more on the expensive side. So if I feel like if I'm going to spend that much on a palette, it has to be something that I don't really have in my collection. The 27 palette, it's just like easily duplicated in my collection at this point. The swatches look insane. Like Melt Cosmetics shadows look gorgeous and I still want to try them, but I'm like holding out hope that they will restock Gemini. So I'm not sure. It doesn't look like they're going to restock it, but in the meantime, I'm not really interested in this palette. Even though the swatches look pretty, I just feel like I personally don't need it. And the last collection that I won't be buying is from Becca. It's a collaboration with Chrissy Teigen, and I feel like the Becca Chrissy collabs, has there only been one? They did a palette together. I don't think they've had another collaboration together, so I think this is actually the second collab. They always kind of like pull me in just because I feel like they're like bronzy and beautiful and like perfect for summertime, but I feel like at the same time, like I wanted to buy the palette. It's actually still on my shop tagger list in case it goes on sale. Anyways, this new collection comes with a Bronze and Glow Compact, so I'll be skipping over this because I don't like those products that have like different colors in them. I feel like they're hard to use and I think some people like them because they're a little bit more customizable and you kind of get 3 in 1 and you can go in with like the middle shade or you can mix 2 shades. But for me, I just feel like they're hard to get consistent. Like you apply it and it looks one way one day and then you apply it and it looks a different way the next day if you pick up too much of one color. So I just skip over those. And then the second product is a body oil. I don't really do body oils. I just feel like I'll get it everywhere, like on my furniture, on my clothes. And the third product are glosses. And like I said, I have to avoid high-end glosses. I've never tried any Becca glosses anyways. I feel like when it comes to Becca, I'm really into like their highlighters, blushes, and bronzers. So those are usually the products that I'm most drawn to, and their palettes, because they do have a lot of like fun palettes. But I feel like I don't really have a hard time saying no to this collection. Even though the first collection is still kind of like calling my name, I know that I don't need it. So those are all of the products that I am skipping over this time around. Make sure you let me know in the comments below which products you're planning on purchasing, which ones you'll be passing on, because I love reading your comments. But I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.